I'm Dave Abram.
And I'm Kristin Lagana. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll sit down with County Executive Steve Schuh and look back at the history of Freetown. But first, making headlines this week. The county's plan to jumpstart construction projects for schools and public safety got a major boost. This week, the County Council approved Bill 217, which implements a voter-approved change to how the county's annual bond ordinance is approved. Under the legislation, the county can authorize interim bonds so that work can begin faster on a project. Now, this will mean the process moves much more quickly for projects such as Crofton High School and the new police academy, also a great movie. The new change also works with an initiative from 2015 allowing the county to issue 30-year bonds instead of 25-year bonds. Do you got all that, Dave?
Man, you were breaking that down like no other. I was having trouble following.
Now, that's a lot of technical information, but we can all get that shovels will go down in the ground faster, right?
Right. That's the simple message.
And that's what we want.
There we go. And Kristin has more information about bond premiums and things like that later.
And Police Academy.
Now, many of you have gotten a jump start on spring this week with the warm temperatures and sunshine.
That's so nice.
I know. Well, we want to remind you about a new policy when it comes to disposing of your yard waste. Now, stop me if you've heard this before.
All right.
Starting in January, the Department of Public Works announced that it will only accept grass clippings, brush and tree limbs, and leaves, don't forget leaves, and paper bags. No plastic.
Not plastic?
Let me repeat, Kristin. Don't use plastic bags.
Does that mean some
use
plastic?
Paper.
How about a little plastic?
No plastic bags.
No plastic.
No plastic garbage bags.
No plastic.
Now, you may ask me why. Why can't we use plastic bags?
Why can't we use plastic bags?
I'm going to tell you. The reason for the change is that our contractors are no longer accepting plastic garbage bags. They are also bad for the environment because they mess up compost that allows us to recycle yard waste. Now, the paper bags are a little bit more expensive, so try finding the best deal online and buy your bags for the season. You can also get creative and use any kind of receptacle marked with an X.
A trash can?
A trash can.
A Rubbermaid container?
A Rubbermaid container.
A bucket?
A whiskey barrel?
Whoa.
Yeah. See, I got ideas.
Whoa.
About a whiskey barrel. Now, I have to say, Kristin, that I love the paper bags.
Yeah, you're really big on
I'm
these.
into it.
Yeah.
They're really convenient. They hold a ton of stuff.
You like using the board in the bag?
Yeah, they have this
like
cool plastic insert,
Yeah.
and they stand up by themselves. No more stepping on the edge of the bag and trying to shuffle it between your legs. That's what I always did. I looked stupid. Now I look cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen someone look cooler than when you're using paper bags, Dave.
Right?
So,
Totally
paper bags, that's where it's at.
Hey, you know what?
What's not to like?
What can I say?
Well, Dave, I'll tell you what's not to like.
Okay.
It's tax season. Maybe you are like us and you're not much of a numbers person, but don't worry. The Department of Aging and Disabilities has the volunteers for you. Several senior centers are helping folks with tax advice. This Monday, the Arnold Senior Center will have experts on hand all day long by appointment. And you can call to make an appointment at 410-222-1922. Now, these are volunteers giving advice on simple forms, so don't go crazy.
Don't get crazy, people.
Dave, especially you.
Oh.
Don't go crazy.
Right.
They don't do partnerships, corporations, self-employed, or rental properties. There are multiple windows to sign up for a consultation between now and tax day until April 7th. Do you have your taxes done?
No.
I know, I haven't either. I meant to start over the weekend and I didn't.
And you know, my capital gains, I need someone to give me advice on my capital gains.
I can tell you where you can put some of your investing.
Where?
And I'll just give you account numbers and you just,
Oh.
yeah, totally
That's
legit.
kind of you.
Totally legit.
Wow, awesome. Well,
Yeah,
I can't
great rates.
I look forward to that opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk to County Executive Steve Schuh to get an update on what he's up to these days. Take a look at our community calendar for events happening around town, and we'll be right back.
welcome back. Delighted to have back in the studio with us County Executive Steve Schuh. How's it going today, sir?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Nice to see you too.
Good to see you back, yeah. And you're still newlywed. How's the newlywed life going?
So far, so good. She hasn't thrown me out.
So I wanted to ask you, with that being said, about your first Valentine's Day, newlyweds. What'd you guys do? How'd you celebrate?
We had a very special weekend. She surprised me with a weekend getaway.
Ooh.
So we went to a hotel out of town.
Okay.
We went out to dinner to this great Italian place, and then we went
Always
to
good.
a show in Washington, D.C. at a place called Blues Alley,
Love
which is
Blues Alley.
famous
Yes.
old
Yes.
jazz club. And we saw Mary Wilson, who was one of the original Supremes.
Oh, wow.
Who at age 73 is still belting it out. It was a
love
really
the
great show.
Supremes.
You would totally go to that show.
Dave, sing some Supremes.
Stop in the name of love.
Oh, it like
That's
this.
it.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, I could go on.
She was
That's
very
incredible.
impressive.
And Italian.
Blues Alley. Blues Alley.
Alley.
That is the #1 place in DC. That is
For
the
jazz,
spot
it is.
for
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's a great place. A lot of fun.
What a great opportunity, and to get some good Italian food too. Sounds
Yep.
like my kind of date. I'll
I'm
tell you
getting
that.
hungry.
Yeah, me
We
too.
get
Perfect
hungry.
Valentine's getaway.
We
It
get
was great.
hungry really easily.
Well, you're just starting to get going here with the budget. Tell me about your wish list, some things that you're looking to do this year.
Well, this is going to be a very big budget year. A lot of
Okay.
exciting things coming. We're looking to continue giving taxpayers tax and fee relief. Always excited about
Yes.
that. School construction, this is going to be a very big year. This is the year we break ground on Crofton High School. People have waited
Yay.
30 years
Wow.
for Crofton High School, and it is at last moving.
So needed too.
Oh, it's so needed.
Yes.
And the council recently gave us authorization to accelerate all capital projects, and that will include school construction projects. So that gains us a few months. And on these kinds of projects, months count.
Right.
Parents want these schools and facilities open. And public safety, this is also going to be a big year because we'll be breaking ground on the central booking facility and on the new police academy, which will bring our police and sheriff's work into 21st century standards. And then finally, quality of life. We have a lot of really exciting things going on in terms of additional expansion of our bike network, opening up more swing beaches and canoe and kayak launches and trailer boat launches. So really great things going on all over the county, and they'll all be reflected in our budget.
Great.
You mentioned Crofton High School, and I wanted to ask you, take us back a little bit, because I can remember, I've been around for a while now, and I can remember this issue coming up year after year after year, and nothing ever happened. And even 3 years ago, I think it didn't seem like it was going to happen. What do you think? How did you get that done? Not that I'm not jinxing it, but how did? Hopefully, it will get done. But how did?
No, it's
what
pretty
changed?
well on its way now. I don't think there's any stopping it realistically, but it is, you're quite right, a project that the community has wanted for decades and has needed for decades, and many elected officials have supported the project conceptually, but nobody was ever willing to make the budget commitment and to take the political fallout that comes from that kind of decision. Furthermore, the county school board was never historically particularly supportive of adding additional high schools. They liked the idea of having 12 high schools, regardless of how big they might be, because I can only imagine it's because they're easier to manage.
The 13 thing.
Other
Number
factors.
13.
Yeah, maybe they wanted to avoid
No.
unlucky 13. And then, of course, leadership by the superintendent. So I think three things happened. It was the confluence of three separate events. One is the superintendent exercised extraordinary leadership in supporting that school. No superintendent has done that in 30 years. The school board, while maybe a little slow to embrace the project, did embrace the project, and they've embraced the broader concept of accelerating school construction in Arundel County, especially at the high school level. And then, of course, our administration came in with a clear-cut, no doubt about it, promise to the citizens of this county that we were going to support that high school, along with many others. So those three factors all came together. Of course, in the background was always the citizen support. The citizen support has always been there.
Right.
It's just the political, school board, and school leadership factors were not there in adequate quantities.
And now it's
until
all come together.
It's all
the
come
perfect
together.
storm.
Right,
Wow.
perfect storm, exactly.
Well, last week you unveiled a new website that's devoted to information about the Mayo Peninsula. Why did you do that?
The Mayo Peninsula is one of Anne Arundel County's jewels, a beautiful place.
Absolutely.
People want to come there because of the water, the maritime culture. It's just a fabulous part of our county. But obviously, people bring challenges with them. They put pressure on road networks, on the schools, on public safety, on public utilities, recreation and park assets. And that peninsula is most definitely under strain in every one of those areas. When you look at Central Avenue 214, that is a one-way in, one-way out road with barely any shoulders and no sidewalks. And if anything goes wrong, people can be bottled up on the peninsula for hours. So we are working with the state to devote significant dollars at both the state and county level to improve 214. Public utilities, I think everyone is aware that we are abandoning the outdated system for waste disposal that has existed for decades out on the Mayo Peninsula and are now piping waste to the Annapolis Water Reclamation Facility. So that will modernize the public utilities. Very important step forward.
It's a huge project.
Yeah.
Huge project. We've put lots of money into the schools out on the Mayo Peninsula in the last decade or so. We are also looking to make significant improvements to Beverly Triton Beach, Mayo Beach, and other area park facilities. So a lot's going on down there, but I think that based on the public meetings we've had and the communications we're getting from leaders in the community, there's not a lot of public awareness about the county's commitment to Mayo and making sure that we do address over time all of those challenges. So we wanted to launch the website, make sure we were communicating everything that's going on, that has been going on in Mayo, so that people are more fully aware.
That's a great resource too, because I think as people have questions, and sometimes people come up with those same questions but might not have been at a meeting that they saw someone ask that, it kind of just retains all that information. So it's a great resource for folks if they're missing any kind
Exactly.
of gatherings. So now in the last two budgets, we've seen fee cuts, we've seen tax cuts.
Yes.
Historic tax cuts and fee cuts.
Got
Yes.
any other good news coming?
Any taxes?
We're
or
still
fee
early in the
cuts?
budget process.
Still early.
Still early.
Come on, you
Not
can
ready
tell
to,
us.
Not ready to
Nobody's
reveal the
listening.
budget.
Okay. I
All
won't
right.
push it.
Well, why don't you all just close your ears and I'll just tell them. No, there'll be something coming, but we are still very early in the budget process. We don't even
Fair
really
enough.
know how much revenue we have to work with yet. Those
Sure.
projections still are ahead of us.
Yeah, the state numbers are a little bit scary, but
State
that kind
numbers
of
are light.
happens every year. It seems like we hear these doomsday things every year.
Well, let's hope so. But and I am optimistic that as the fiscal year progresses, we will see stronger estimates coming from both county sources of revenue and state sources of revenue. The more revenue we have at current tax rates, the more room we have to reduce those rates while still fully funding important county programs.
Well, it's great news that we were also talking about expediting the approval process too when it comes to capital budget. So it's great stuff.
full steam ahead.
Full steam
steam ahead.
Are you excited for some baseball?
Ready?
Ready? Me too. Me
Too
too.
bad about Matt Wieters.
Stop it. I don't even want to.
Whoopsie.
Well, as always, we thank you for coming on the program.
having me.
Please come back
Good to have
soon.
you.
We always love to get the updates. And we'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back. As you know, it's Black History Month. Sara Gannon went out to Freetown to find out more about its history. Sarah?
Thanks, Kristin and Dave. I'm at Freetown today, and boy, have I learned a lot of information and history about Freetown today. I am very lucky to be here today with Mr. Caldwell, Miss Caldwell, and Mr. Spencer. They have taken their time out of their day today to talk about the history and how Freetown became what it is today. Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. Can you tell me a little bit about how your organization or your association began?
Well, the association started June the 10th, 1954. The men and women came together to make life or try to make life better for the community and to look out for the community. And so we've been working towards that effort down through the years to save our legacy, because our legacy is very rich. And we want the world to know that we're very proud of our community, Freetown. Now, it's starting to develop, and other developers are coming in, and subdivisions, and we don't want to lose our identity and our legacy, because the developers, when they come in, they just more or less interested in building and making money. We're interested in preserving our legacy and for the next generations to come. So yeah, I'm very glad that you could come and be with us today. My sister have some more pertinent things to tell you about our community, but there's a lot that we cannot say in just a few minutes, but I'm gonna let her.
Very true. And also with Black History Month, I mean, this is important for people to realize the culture and history of even in our county. With having the segment about Anne Arundel that Dave Abrams had done, I believe last month, it was definitely, it's good to know your history of where you live. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about Freetown?
Yes, I can. I've been dubbed
Where to start, right?
the historian of Freetown, because I've taken the interest in preserving some of that history. It's very important. And being a member of the community and a member of the Northern Arundel Cultural Preservation Society, our mission is to collect, preserve, and document and make available to the public this rich history that we have.
Sure.
So I've been doing everything that I can to document important things like the beginning of education, public education in Freetown, the Rosenwald School that we went to get it on the National Registry, and also to have some of Tony's family's beginnings posted on the historic marker that's on Mountain Road.
And you had said earlier in our conversation that you were working with Freetown Elementary and trying to get some history infused in their learning and their curriculum.
Oh, yes, with Mrs. Mary Poussin, who is the Social Studies Education Coordinator for Anne Arundel Public Schools, has begun to have teachers and students learn about the history of some of the communities, especially Freetown. And so they've been having meetings periodically for the last 2 years to learn about that history. And as a result, people are beginning to understand that Freetown is not just Freetown Village, but that Freetown Village is just a community within a larger community.
Can you tell me how, you had mentioned there was multiple acres in Freetown. How many acres are in Freetown again?
Freetown started with over 1,000 acres of land.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
It's a bigger area than you think.
But it's been cut up so now and redistricted so that people don't really know, you know. Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Spencer, you have a lot of history here. Your family has a lot of history here. Can you tell me about the Spencer family? Were they the first family at Freetown?
Not the first family. My great-great-grandfather, James William Spencer, on December 26, 1845, bought the first 56-acre tract of land into Freetown. That's coming from what we call today Molly Creek, that area. There was part of that was something called Smith's Forest. Smith's Forest was owned by the Youngs and the Smiths. And so from that water's edge across Molly Neck Road, what we know today as Howard Road and Molly Neck Road.
Sure.
Okay, go across Molly Neck Road into Freetown, into the area that's right, I guess it would be kind of southeast of where we are right now. Okay, and so over the years, those who were free, and to understand that fact is that you're talking about a free society within a slavery-driven society. Okay. And so you had each other. You have farmers, you have longshoremen, you have nurses, you have a young man who I grew up with, Judge Clayton Green, who was first helping his father with doing maintenance in a school, to being down on the appellate court, to Irene Beverly Hall Giles, who was also one of those students in Freetown Elementary, who is now a retired educator. And so you have a lot of folks who are here today because of the parents that stood with them, stood beside them, and a community. You didn't just have your mother and father, you had your grandparents, you had neighbors who looked out for you.
That's right.
When you did something wrong, You answered for it because the neighborhood looked out for you. From Solly Road, they had been watching the entrance to Mountain Road to protect the community. Those are community trustees.
You couldn't get away with a lot.
Anything.
Well, thank you. I would really love to do a bigger piece and get more information because you're a gem to this county. I hope you know that. And you know, with the history, it's very, like you said, it's very rich, and you have family and generation after generation here. And you know, sometimes as working with constituent services, I'm out and about in the community, and sometimes you wonder where streets and buildings get their names. Look in the history books, and you know, also talk to people that have that history knowledge, and you do learn. You do learn. That's right. It's very good. Well, thank you for your time today, and I hope to extend on this some more. And thank you again for meeting with me today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. Lots of good history all around this county.
Absolutely.
We've been killing it with the history lately.
I like history. So,
I know.
So I'm getting ready to go on a short vacation.
Oh, where are you going?
And I'm going to Mexico.
Where?
Cancun.
Nice.
I
I've been
know.
there.
Totally excited. I've been there as well. So, but I'm excited for R&R and relaxation. I bought 3 books.
Nice. What are they?
The definitive biography of Donald Trump
Okay.
by 2 Washington Post reporters who I trust. So I think
Okay.
it'll be a good, a straightforward book. You know what I mean?
I like it.
I got.
Harriet the Spy.
You know what? How did you know? I got the Secret 6. It's about George Washington's spies.
Oh.
Because I always like to talk about
I was thinking
this.
maybe it was a SEALs thing, but
I'm
okay.
pretty sure George Washington invented invisible ink.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure I picked that up somewhere, and I could probably Google it, but I don't have my phone right now. But I want to read about George Washington's spies. I knew about Nathaniel Hale because I just read 1776. So, but I wanted to learn more. So I'm really on a George Washington kick right now. I want to be the expert.
What about those books that Rocky was suggesting last week?
Well, one is 7 volumes, so I figured
Not
that's
that
not going to
one.
fit in my luggage.
But the other one.
And what was the one? The other
I
one was like
forget,
a
it was a
distinguished man, or
Yeah, something like
something.
something like
I'll have to do
I'll have to
Lincoln
look
later.
back
I'm not as intrigued about Lincoln as Washington. I'm not sure why, but and then the third book is, I forget the name, but it's a book written by a New York City police officer, and it's kind of having a beer with a guy kind of way of telling
cool.
the stories.
Yeah.
It's not super intense. It's not like a true crime novel. It's like a stories from the beat is something like what it's
Yeah.
called. So I thought there's a good mix. So that's what I'm gonna.
I'm
be
itching
reading
to
about.
travel right now. You're picking a good time to go. I was thinking about my Puerto Rico trip today, and I wish I was back in.
Well, speaking
Old San
of
Juan.
traveling, Kristin.
Yeah.
How about Matt Wieters? Matt Wieters is leaving the Baltimore Orioles and going to the Washington Nationals?
Yeah, yeah.
Did anybody see this coming?
You're welcome. Enjoy my seconds.
So here's the question. Does this make you sort of a Nats fan, or are you going to watch
No.
you like me? No.
Matt Wieters is a great player.
Wieters is
Don't
dead
worry.
to you. That's
no,
it.
he's not dead to me. I think he's a great player. I always considered him kind of a rock. He's just somewhat reliable, somebody you can count on. He wasn't a superstar by any means, but I think that the Nats will benefit from having him. And shame on us for not doing more to keep him. But yeah, congrats. Congrats.
Are the
Not
Orioles
my
gonna-
favorite player though.
Okay. Who's your favorite player?
Right now, Ryan Flaherty, only because I sat next to him at Spoons in Fed Hill the other day.
Shout out Ryan Flaherty. What's up, Ryan?
I know what
Saw
you
you
ordered.
at Spoons.
I'm not creepy at all. It
Totally
was
not creepy.
totally-
You totally played that very straight.
Yeah, it was totally a Florentine Benedict, but on wheat toast and not an English muffin. Because you're watching for the season, right, homie? Yeah.
Wow. Well, we'll see if he responds to this, because maybe he had something
sure he
slightly
totally
different
watched
for breakfast.
No, I'm really excited about opening day, though.
It's coming.
I live for opening day. When it's just that time of year when you can, wear a light jacket. You're walking around the city. There's so much energy going on right now. Everybody's pumped for baseball.
And our snow bat is totally screwed up.
I know.
It barely even snowed
I'm
at all.
so bummed about this, Dave. I was
What?
hoping you wouldn't even bring it up, but
Well, you
I'm
know what?
seriously sad.
No, but I'm not going to jinx it, because you know what happens
March.
when it doesn't snow
March.
and everybody thinks it's summertime, and then
And
boom.
like a lion.
Yep, you get hit. It's going to be a big old snow.
And I know that you want to win the snow bet, but don't tell me that you're not disappointed at all that we have had the snow.
I'm very disappointed. No,
love
I called
snow.
for, what was it, 11 inches or something
Yeah,
like that? So
I mean, you'll win the bet,
I still
but-
wanted some snow.
I was
I
just
just want to
really-
beat you finally. I always lose.
I'm disappointed in you this year, Farmer's Almanac.
I think I
Disappointed.
correctly predicted the Super Bowl. I think I correctly.
Maybe this is your year, Abrams. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think I'm on a little bit of a
Maybe
run.
this is your year.
We'll
But
see.
Whatever.
We'll see. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archive episodes online anytime on Facebook or YouTube by simply searching for Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county, and we'll see you next time.